Testing, testing, testing.
Test. Okay. Please stand and sing together. We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Anything you pray for, if fear is in your way, I am here to listen to anything you need to say. Your prayer is my prayer too. And your prayer is my prayer too. Whatever you feel, I feel you too. You're part of me, and I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. My prayer too. We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Anything you pray for, if fear is in your way, I am here to listen to anything you need to say. Your prayer is my prayer too. And your turn. Your prayer is my prayer too. Wherever we feel, I feel you to be a part of me, and I'm part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. My prayer too.
Great song. Good morning, Unity of Columbia, and thank you for being here on this beautiful sunny morning. So say thank you that this is a beautiful sunny morning. As we gather together today, we affirm that we are each unique expressions of God. Please turn to the person next to you and say, you are a unique expression of God. And we're here today not just to come to church, but we're here for a holy purpose. Let's declare, I am here for a holy purpose. So we continue to study the words of our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, who said, think of all men, all women, all children as abiding in God's presence and expressing God's qualities. Notice she uses the word all. That includes all the people who you don't agree with. It includes all the people who you feel are doing the wrong thing. And it includes all the people who might have hurt you during your lifetime. Myrtle said, as you see all people as an expression of God, you will invite only the best from them. So let's please stand and greet each other and say, I invite only the best.
Thank you, Seda.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Morris, and I'm delighted to be your facilitator today. And we are grateful for everyone who contributes to this service. And there are many. There are lots of people involved. We welcome everyone to Unity of Columbia. We're especially grateful for all of you in the sanctuary, and we want to welcome those of you online too. Please make sure you turn off your cell phones so we maintain this sacred space. If you are here for the first time, the ushers have a packet for you, or there are also packets out in the foyer on the table. Today's reading is from Francis Folks. Be still, and knowing is sufficient for anyone in the time of need. For to know God is to know his omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience, and that for the sake of expressing him, we are even as he is. Please join me in affirming our vision, mission, and core values. Our vision is, we celebrate a spiritually awakened world. And our mission is, we inspire the awakening and practice of divine love in every heart. In addition, we celebrate our core values, knowing that we have come here to be spirit-centered and to express the values of love, peace, and connection. In our announcements today, the collection for the Room at the Inn supply drive ends today. If you've not had a chance to give items, you can still donate money. Details are in the foyer, or see Steph Brooks. And I'd like to invite Reverend Ann up here.
Just a bit of a sad announcement today. I think that most of you are aware of this, but for those of you who are not e-newsletter readers, you may not be aware that our beloved Joy Thompson passed away peacefully last Sunday, and I'm aware that that might be a bit of a surprise for some of you. It is sad news, and we hold her family and her friends, and I know many of you are her friends, so we hold everyone that knew her and loved her in our hearts today. A memorial table has been set up in the Unity Chapel, and you are invited to go there. You can write a little blessing to her and pop it into the glass jar that's there. You can leave a token of love, and it could be just something like a rock or a flower or something like that. You can say a prayer for her. So we invite you to go and visit that so you can say some kind of a nice goodbye to her, and that communion table will be set up for the next week. So thank you.
In March, there are some activities that are fun happening. Bunko Night is Friday, March the 7th. You can sign up in the foyer. And there's also an opportunity to volunteer at the food bank on Thursday, March 13th. We have 6 people signed up so far for that, but we would love to have 10. So if that is something that you would enjoy doing, helping out the food bank, please don't hold back. And now I'd like to invite Bill up to the podium.
I didn't know why I was being invited up here. What is today after church? I don't need to be here. So I'll see you in a few minutes. By the way, there is a gluten-free gumbo, a vegetarian gumbo, and a full bore gumbo. Jim really did a lot of good work.
Now I'd like to invite Julie up for the daily word.
Good morning. Please repeat after me our daily word. Wisdom guides my words and actions. Wisdom guides my words and actions. When I have felt torn, trying to decide which way to go or how to handle a trying situation, I may have asked in prayer for insight and guidance. As I have grown spiritually, I have come to realize that any insight and guidance I could need are within me, aspects of my divine inheritance. Divine wisdom is my ability to intuit, to sense, and to discern my best choice. I pay attention to my hunches, flashes of inspiration, and whispers of guidance. I feel in my quiet moments, I believe they are divinely inspired, even if they surprise me. In confidence and with gratitude, I move in the direction of my highest good, trusting in my innate wisdom. And when you turn to the right, or when you turn to the left, your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way, walk in it." From Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. Again, let's say the daily word together. Wisdom guides my words and actions.
Now it's time for the prayer box. The prayer box is a symbol of blessing today. In prayer, we expand our awareness, knowing that we are expressions of God's love. We open our mind to receive an abundance of all that is necessary to fulfill our soul's purpose. And now we hold others in prayer. Please speak your loved one's name aloud so that we can collectively hold space. For all the names in our hearts, know that what you asked for has been answered. There are 2 Unity prayer chaplains who will be available after today's service to pray with you. There's Carol and Kathleen.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are praise, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, the state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Make yourself comfortable. Shut your eyes if you can or want to. Christ Jesus taught us that prayer and meditation were 2 sides of the same blessed coin. He taught us exactly how we should enter this state of consciousness when he told us that the kingdom of God is within each of us, that to communicate with God with infinite consciousness, we should go into our room, close the door, and open ourselves to listening to our still small voice, and to only pray and meditate in gratitude and thankfulness for all that we have received. Meditation is the art of stillness, yet within its quiet depths lays a force more profound than motion. It is both a retreat and an expansion, a paradox where the act of doing nothing becomes the most transformative action of all. In a world that depends on speed, meditation invites us to slow down. It whispers that clarity is not found in the noise of crowds and media, rather in the silence beneath it. In that silence, the mind unburdens itself, revealing the depth that was always there, hidden beneath the clutter of distraction. But meditation is not merely a tool for relaxation. It is not about escaping life, nor is it an attempt to empty the mind entirely. Instead, it is a practice of presence, a way of becoming intimate with each moment, free from the filters of worry, judgment, and attachment. It allows us to step out of the storm of thought and observe it from a distance, not to suppress or control, but to witness with equanimity. The power of meditation is not in its ability to change the world around us, but in how it changes the way we see the world. It does not erase difficulties, but it shifts our relationship to them. A moment of anger or impatience, once overpowering, becomes an event to observe rather than to react to. Fear, once all-consuming, is seen for what it is, temporary, like passing clouds in an otherwise boundless sky. Through meditation, we learn that we are not our fears, our worries, or even our desires. We are the awareness that watches them come and go, the stillness beneath the surface of constant mental movement. And in that awareness, we find freedom, not from life's challenges, but from being ruled by them. Yet meditation is not always easy. To sit in stillness is to face oneself without distraction, without the numbing comforts of constant stimulation. The mind resists, filling the quiet with restlessness memories, our plans for the future. And this too is the practice, observing that resistance, sitting with it, and realizing that like everything else, it will pass. With this truth in mind, we now go into a short period of silence. We lift our thoughts to an affirmative awareness that we will find and accept the power of the I am. Through meditation, we touch the infinite within. And from that place of stillness, we move back into the world, calmer, clearer, and more attuned to our purpose during this incarnation's journey of spiritual growth. And so it is.
Our thoughts are praise, and we all always praying. Our thoughts are praise. Take charge of what you're saying. Seeking higher consciousness, this state of blissfulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a praise.
In our class, we've been studying the book Heart-Centered Metaphysics. And so each of us will be speaking from a chapter in this book on the topic regarding prayer. And each of your speakers are a prayer chaplain here at Unity. My topic is from chapter 9, Praying with Others. Prayer is not something we do to God or a ceremony we perform for God. It is an experience of our own God potential. We do not really pray to God, rather we pray from a consciousness of God. Prayer is not conditioning God with our needs, but conditioning our lives with the activity of God. Prayer is a self-realization, self-expression, self-expansion. It is getting centered within and reestablishing ourselves in the flow of the infinite creative process. And that was written by Eric Butterworth. Some of you may have recognized his style. It is in the book called The Universe is Calling. I am delighted to serve as a Unity prayer chaplain. I consider it a sacred privilege to pray with anyone who has something on their heart they would like to lift up in prayer. Please know that whatever you share with us, with the Unity prayer chaplain, is kept in complete confidence between the two of us. When I approach prayer with someone, I remember that the focus of the time together is on the Christ consciousness in which we share, through which all healing is established. We do this by addressing this higher consciousness in a way that is comfortable for both of us. For me, it is Dear God. If you have another acknowledgement of the divine that you prefer, please let me know. Be glad to use that. First, we take a deep breath to calm and focus our sacred space together. This allows me to release any anxiety that I might have and focus fully on you, the person that I am with. In the presence of the divine, I know that the healing power of God is active in the person I am with right now. In the prayer, I will acknowledge the concern of the person, never diminishing the importance of what has been shared. You may request prayer regarding anything that is on your heart. I'll share a few of the topics that I have requested prayer for and have benefited greatly receiving a prayer with someone. When I have lost someone that is very dear to me, when I'm requesting confidence in the skill of the medical professionals when facing a procedure or an illness, the ability to choose to react gently when provoked by people we love, the ability to show solid support and love to another who is very far away, or concern when facing important life changes. All of these things have been bigger than me, and I have benefited from prayer. Any other topic which is not in the right and good focus is appropriate for prayer. We know that by affirming the spiritual realization of the wholeness and goodness of the person, affirming the love, growth, and healing taking place, we can realize that the whole consciousness is now illuminated. We acknowledge positive thoughts and truths which allow the process of healing to go forward. For me personally, through prayer, I learned that it's okay to live in the hallway a little while, before that next door opens. Here is a beautiful quote by Elizabeth Sand Turner. Peace can be brought to the process going forward, knowing that a person unifies with God, a spiritual power, working for that person in ways that are incomprehensible to human reason and superior to human insight. Together, we will next release anxieties and fears which tighten the mind. Anxieties and fears limit our ability to be aware of the Christ within, which we know to be effective in helping us to face challenges, participate in growth, or heal in body and mind. These fears are not trivialized. The presence of fear in the forefront of our minds is not helpful. So we bring affirmations of love and wholeness forward. We give praise for these truths and be in gratitude for this vitalizing, life-expressing wholeness and health. Praying with you is a blessing for both of us. So don't be shy to come forward after service or to approach any of us Unity Prayer Chaplains at any time.
My talk is on the chapter 7 on meditation, and Bill pretty much said my speech already, so. But let's start with definition from Webster Dictionary. Meditate, the verb means to engage in mental exercise, such as concentration on one's breathing or repetition of a mantra, for the purpose of reaching a heightened level of spiritual awareness. Meditation is a tool for spiritual growth, as Bill so nicely said in his meditation. But it also has many health benefits. According to healthline.com, a practice of meditation can, 1, reduce stress. Reducing stress has other benefits as well. Number 2, it controls anxiety. Reducing stress translates to less anxiety. 3, it supports mental health. Meditation can lead to improved self-image and a more positive outlook on life. Number 4, it enhances self-awareness. It helps develop a stronger understanding of yourself. Number 5, it lengthens your attention span. One study said that meditating for 13 minutes a day, after 8 weeks, you have enhanced memory and attention span. Number 6, it may reduce age-related memory loss. Improvements in clarity of thinking may help to keep our minds young. I think I need that. 7, it can generate kindness. Meditation can increase positive feelings and actions towards yourself and others. Number 8, it may help with addiction. Mental discipline developed through meditation can help break dependencies by increasing self-control and awareness of triggers. Number 9, it improves sleep. It may control thoughts that lead to insomnia, and it releases tension and eases you into a peaceful state. I use a meditation app sometimes when I can't sleep. It's called Insight Timer, and there's several meditations that help you drift into sleep. Some of them are 20 minutes long, some are 30 minutes long, and usually after 10 minutes, I'm asleep and I don't hear the rest of the meditation. It can help control pain. Incorporating meditation into your daily life can be beneficial for controlling pain. And finally, 11, it can decrease blood pressure. Meditation relaxes the nerve signals that coordinate heart function, blood vessel tension, and the fight or flight response. The book focuses on a centering style of meditation. There are several styles of meditation, but they talk mostly in the book about centering meditation. And it's there. This meditation also has similar steps to the 5-step prayer process for the 5-step prayer process. The first 3 steps are similar. The first step in meditation is to relax and set a time for meditation. It's best to set aside the same time every day. I like to wake up, walk the dog, make a cup of coffee, and settle into a chair. If I feel tension or nervousness, I may do some stretching, stretch my neck, stretch my shoulders, get on the floor, stretch my legs, stretch my back. And it usually gets me ready for a 30-minute meditation. Sometimes it's only 10 or 15 minutes, but mostly it's 30 minutes. The book recommends 20 minutes or more. Most days I also have a second time where I meditate. But first I get relaxed, sit in my chair, and ready to begin. The second step is to concentrate or focus on God's presence in your life and repeat a spiritual phrase or idea. There are many examples in the book, like Yahweh, Jesus, Father, El Shaddai. But the ones I use are God is, I am. In my practice, when I breathe in, I say God is or think God is. And as I release my breath, I say I am. Sometimes I just focus on my breathing. The third step is to continue this process and enter into this focused state of mind to deepen your awareness of God. This is where my phrase seems to drift off and I enter into the silence and just focus on my breathing. Sometimes idle thoughts come through at this time. I acknowledge those thoughts and go back to my mantra. At some point in my meditation, I realize or experience a oneness with God and know that I have the power to be, to do, and to have. I hold this feeling all through my meditation until the end. If I use a timer, I make sure it's a nice tone or chime and it only rings once. As I leave my meditation, I give thanks. I try not to go into any major meeting or event. Usually I finish my coffee, read some spiritual book, or maybe get on my phone and do the New York Times puzzle. The days I meditate more than once, I feel that I have more energy. I feel and think more clearly than ever. My emotions are calmer, and I'm slower to react in a negative way. And living with college students, that's very important. So meditation is a spiritual practice that enhances your life, helps you become the best you. It makes you more aware of your surroundings and appreciate what you have. In the words from the book, it says, we must do our inner work in order to lay the foundation of strength and power to do our outer work.
My name is Ann, just in case you didn't know, and this is Kathy, and this is Mike. And then you've already seen that we had 2 other chaplains stand up. And there's a clump of us, and we love doing prayer. We love doing meditation. We love being with other people, especially if we can do it alone with other people. And so Sunday morning from 9 to 10, I'm often in the prayer chapel, and that is what starts my week. My week starts with an hour of silent prayer in the prayer chapel. Of course, there is that time when sometimes we do discuss things. And part of what I wanted to say in my talk was that just like our song today, every thought is a prayer. Every word is a prayer. Every comment is a prayer. And I know for myself that one of the things that I look forward to is when I feel at peace.
I can feel at peace easily and effortlessly if I allow myself. And you've heard very good descriptions this morning. This is one of the best things about this church is that everybody that comes here is a powerful being, and we have powerful talks. And so you will have good advice. And again, the thing about advice is only worth what you pay for it. So invest in yourself. And that's what I want to talk to you about prayer. Prayer is an investment. I don't know about you, but this last week or so, along with the lovely weather that we've had, I've had some things that I had to do that involved going to state agencies or into offices where I had the right form but at the wrong time or the wrong person or something. And so I finally, again, thought to myself, why am I not doing devoted prayer before I walk into this office? And so now, if you see me in my car sometimes sitting, it is because there's a part of me that says, before I do anything, before I go anywhere, before I ask anything, before I know anything, I need to deepen myself. I need to allow myself to be calm, cool, and collected. I invest in myself every time I do a prayer. I invest in myself every time I say affirmative words. I work at knowing that there are people that support me, that there are beings that are always available to me, the divine presence. One of my personal experiences is, I don't know how many of you all have ever had to be in a hospital or go to healthcare or that type of thing. All of us, I'm sure, but one time I needed something, and we needed to get a bed and a recovery unit, and there weren't any available. And I was doing my best to find one, and then I called a friend of the family who is very different religious ilk, and I said to her, when you are doing your prayers, please put my family's name on that list. And she said, okay, well, we'll just do prayer right now. And we did prayer right now, and I thought, well, that was powerful. And then I hung up the phone, and the phone rang, and I had a bed. So that helped me realize that if I want to be in this alone, I can do it alone. However, there are angelic beings, there are bodhisattvas, there are lots of people that are here to support me. Another thing that I do is I know that I'm investing in myself when I invest in holding up other people around me. Part of what prayer is for me is that it's also a time when I say, I am so grateful that we have a good board here at Unity. I am so grateful that we have a country that is free. I am so grateful that I can take my cares and take care of them and then allow other people to do what they need to do. Okay? This has gone a little differently than what I had written down for you, but I'm so grateful. I would also encourage any of you that ever want to experience being up here, because I swear that every time I look out here, I see all these little halos, all these little, spirits involving. And so I would ask that you take care of yourself by taking care of yourself, that you allow yourself to listen to some of the advice. I don't know about you, but I think that meditation could help all of us look younger. So again, with prayer, everything starts with prayer. Everything is a prayer. And so every time I drive by and I see the lighted tree, I love feeling all of a sudden that warmth and that knowing and that deepening. And I wish that for all of you. I can hold, even though Reverend Ann often reminds us that we get to be involved with some people that don't agree with us, and I'm happy for that lesson. I do love that I can find ways that I just, when I go by that tree, and I often, if you see somebody sitting in a car across the street in that little street alley thing, that could be me. I was also told a lot of people about it, but so I love sitting there and watching that tree that is perfectly still, but yet it moves, it changes, it evolves. And so I can sit there in the quiet and be with myself and then offer up prayer. And it's an easier way for me then to pray for that person that irritated me by doing something that had nothing to do with me earlier in the day. I do have one request while I have the podium. I have a request that you all help me with this. One of the goals that I have in life is to have every person in the world use that turn signal on their car. The only person I can directly control is me, and I have decided it's not a good plan for me to get out of my car and go to the car that doesn't have their turn signal on, knock on the window and say something to them. It's really not in my best interest. So I do prayer on that, and I would like it for, and this is, I know that you all think that I'm being frivolous with this, but this is how we manifest in our lives. So we get together and we do things, and we know that it'll happen. We know that things will evolve. We know that things will occur. And so I would like for you to hold with me for the next week that whenever you get into your car, this is your prayer homework. Reverend Lori is speaking through me at this moment. So when you get into your car, that you ground yourself, that you again do a prayer, because you do anyway, all right? And so this time you do an active prayer where you know who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, that you're going to be safe and secure, that you're with the divine presence, whether you're with the loving God. You're a divine expression for anything and everything that you do. And knowing that as you start in your car, you know where your turn signal is, and that when you come up, because part of what I do also is I'm often doing prayer when I'm sitting in traffic behind other people, especially if it looks like people don't know exactly where they're going, and so my prayer for a lot of people is that they learn how to use their turn signal, because if we can do that, we can solve the rest of the world's problems easily. So, really. So I wanted to read, I do have a quote here from, I didn't just randomly pick out things, but anyway, Charles Fillmore says, prayer makes humankind masters in the realm of creative ideas. Creative ideas, much like having a gumbo meal at church. The inner silence of prayer is a great source of spiritual power. So again, I'm going to use that word again. Prayer is an investment. Prayer is a beingness. Prayer is an investment in you. You may not need it all the time and every moment in certain realities, but I will tell you that I needed it when I had to walk into an office saying, well, I don't have this piece of paper that I was supposed to bring, but I do have this one. And usually the right person was at the desk, and one person, called me honey and said, honey, I'll take care of that. And I thought, oh, thank you. And it would have been considered a bribe if I'd given her a gift. So I just said, I'll leave you on my prayer list. And so that's what I do. That's my world. So you all are on my prayer list. All right. So, but now back to the business of prayer. The process of affirmative prayer utilizes the power of the mind. So you're using your mind, and then when you align, you're using the divine mind. All right? And so true prayer requires much more than the repetition of memorized words. And many of us have come from other entities, other religions, where we had memorized prayers that only took us to a certain level. Prayer is an attitude of the heart that is more about being than doing. So I know that you all know this, but I'm just going to remind you of the 5 steps of affirmative prayer that Unity uses. And it's really simple. As Mike said, you get into the attitude that you are going to do prayer, okay? And then you acknowledge the oneness, the divine source, the beingness, all right? Then you allow that your intention to come forward, that your intention is the calmness, is the oneness, is the I am. I am that I am. And then meditation is a conscious awareness. It's the one that allows us to be in the silence, to be in the knowing, and to be fully in inspiration as the total non-awareness. Everything leaves your consciousness and you're just in the awareness. And one can be in this breath, can be in this space for as long as it's needed, for as long as it takes. Sometimes we need to shed for a little while. And then we do recognition. We do a realization that as a result of the silence, that we know the truth, we have acceptance fully of this truth. We release all doubt. We release all fear. It is not part of our oneness. And we have the feeling of permanence of this divine presence, a feeling of permanence of divine presence. And then, of course, we know that we have gratitude and thankfulness for this divine presence and for this time and for the ability to shed anything that's not ours and to truly know the oneness. So thank you for accepting your homework assignment. And so just as a reminder, prayer is proof of faith. Prayer is proof that we align. Prayer is ours. It's a manifestation that comes to us in increments. Sometimes it manifests overnight. Sometimes it manifests in a year. Sometimes it's a phone call away. And we can do that. And part of the key to that is to expect that manifestation. All right, so my advice to you is to pray without ceasing. Have we heard this before? Pray without ceasing, for you truly are anyway. So do it consciously. And all thoughts, words, and deeds, every time you say, yes, I can, it's a prayer. Every time you say, that never works for me, it's a prayer. And so all of those little angelic beings that were lining up to make sure that all the traffic was out of the way when you went to visit your, that heavy traffic around I work near the stadium at MU, so guess how my prayers are. Dear God, please allow this traffic, right? So Divine Mind is always with you. Divine Mind is always available. It is the change in our lives. It is the depth of our heart. It is a way to invest in ourselves. We allow it to be so, and so it is. And so with everything that we do, with everything that we are, the shorthand, if you want a shorthand prayer thing, where you know that you have to know it now, you have belief, you have desire, you have expectancy. You are one with all that is, and so it is.
Please stand. You feel life passing by you.
Now we place a blessing on our gifts as we put ourselves into the law of circulation. We know when we put faith in the source, we will always be provided for. This morning, you're invited to support your spiritual community. Please take your offering, whether you give electronically, by check, or by cash. Hold it in your hand and your heart as we affirm these words together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. We bless these gifts and are grateful for this opportunity to make a difference in the lives of our spiritual family and in the world. And now it's time for our children's moment. Children to gather in front of the sanctuary.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Okay, you can. Good morning. You all can stand up. It's fine. No, okay. Good morning, everyone. It's really good to see you. So I wanted to start this morning by just giving Angela and her family a little wave and a little extra love. They're going through flu for the second week. So let's give her a big wave, lots of healing prayers, and hopefully she'll be back next week. So what were we talking about today, guys?
We talked about the story about how Jesus told everyone about the farmer and him sowing his seeds.
Yeah, so the sower. What? No one can hear you. Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't even hear that. So do you remember any details you wanted to share about that story?
So the sower was throwing his seeds handful by handful all around, and some of them landed in places where they were not able to grow. Some of them did grow, but then couldn't grow because something was in the way, and some of them were eaten by crows or stomped on by people. And then but some were able to grow.
Yeah, some of them fell in the good soil, right? So we were also talking about how this story is like not just about growing seeds in a field, but like growing things within ourselves. And they created these amazing Garden of the Heart pictures. So Evie, would you like to show us yours? Tell us about some of the colors. Can I tell what you told me earlier?
Blue is for peace. Yellow is for happiness. Red is for love. Pink is for kindness.
It is so beautiful. Can you hold it up so everyone can really see it? Nice. How are you?
And green is for good health.
Well, green is for good health. That's important. Brooks, do you want to give us a little rundown of yours?
Yeah.
Here, I'll hold it up while you talk.
So, this is an idea that's spreading. This is an idea that's about to be swallowed up by this idea. This is an idea that isn't spreading right now. These are two colliding ideas, and everything else is something that has had a chance to spread.
They did a pretty amazing job. So let's go ahead and bless our children. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Please rise as we sing the prayer for protection.
God is here, the love of God surrounds us. God is here, the love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.
As you move into your week, have greater consciousness that every thought is a prayer, every word is a prayer, and benefit from the prayers that are all around you.